Hey guys, welcome back to Kadic. And yes, the Last of Us review is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. I promised that would be next, and it is coming. But we've got ourselves a little detour before we're headed down to that land. A slightly funny detour. Back a while ago, link in the description, I did a review of two of the most absurd movies that I have ever seen. The first two Sharknado movies. Yes, Sharknado, sci-fi's original B movie that's trying to be an F movie series, is back again for the third straight summer. And I am zeroing Tyler Reed and cast her up against yet again another shark propelling tornado. For those that are not in the know, Sharknado is exactly what it is. Much like all of sci-fi's absurd original monster movies, Sharknado happens to be the most popular of these, featuring a tropical storm tornado propelled by sharks, man-eating sharks. And there seems to be only one man on the planet capable of stopping them. In the third installment, it looks like Finn has gotten finally busy with April, played by Tara Reid, and she's about to have a kid. This is all well and good, and Finn is getting rewarded by the President of the United States, played by Mark Cuban. Yes, if you're noticing the celebrity name drops, it's on purpose. This movie is built for the Twitterverse, social media, and it thrives off of it. While President Cuban is giving away a golden chainsaw in the middle of freedom, another Sharknado, it's DC, in which Cuban and Finn fight off the storm in DC. By the way, James Bond reference at the top. Meanwhile, April, their daughter Claudia, and Claudia's grandmother, played by Bo Derek, is off to Orlando to enjoy some fun in the sun at the Universal theme parks. Yes, more name dropping. It just so happens that another Sharknado is headed in that direction. It's in the heart of what could be a sharkicane. Yes, that is a term they use in the movie. And the entire East Coast is in danger, including a returning character from the first movie, Nova, who, because of being involved in the first ever Sharknado, has post-traumatic shark disorder. And no, I'm not making it up. And that's really the key word with Sharknado, is you can't make this stuff up. The more absurd it gets, it manages to top itself. The special effects, cheap, cheesy, and absurd. And the death count, even more absurd, with the celebrity body count adding such celebrities as NASCAR drivers. Even Chris Jericho this time is not saved from the sharks. And yes, even Jerry Springer gets nommed. In fact, the amount of celebrity body count at this point has reached 50. And the real big key words about Sharknado is it doesn't give a care, and neither should you. You should not really care about the technical aspects of the movie or the quality of the script. You shouldn't care about the performances being given here. You should just open your eyes, open your ears, and buy into every absurd little thing in this movie. And trust me, it's all absurd. But that's why it's fun. That's why it's good. It's a movie that knows it sucks by concept. It sucks, but doesn't care it sucks. In fact, it puts all its effort into being bad. And that's why it's great. Bizarrely great. It's the worst theatrical train wreck in the world, but you enjoy the ride. You enjoy the absurdness. You ask yourself, how could they possibly do anything more crazy than the last scene that we've seen? And trust me, it gets absurd. And yes, it does end on a perfectly social media-esque timed cliffhanger with one of the mains, in which we get to pull a Gears of War Carbine instant and determine whether she lives or dies. Everybody is at their absolutely sucky best. The stunts are at their most absurd, the special effects most crazy, and new additions to the family like David Hasselhoff and Bo Derek introduce themselves well. Plus, there's a multitude of references to the two previous films throughout the movie, and yes, there's already confirmed to be number 4. So yes, I'll be right back here next year doing a review on another one of these things. Which, quite frankly, as a viewer of Sharknado and as a fan of Sharknado, I have to honestly ask myself this question. What kind of absurdity can you do for a 4th one? I mean, even I, a talented and imaginative person, can't possibly come up with any ideas more absurd that the 3rd one has come up with. And maybe that's the problem with this movie. This movie seems like the apex, and yet sci-fi wants to tell us it's not. Which, that's for next year to determine. But for right now, the best, worst movie ever maintains its title and its death grip with a more absurd, out of control, and borderline crazy movie than ever. Everyone is giving 110% effort to a movie that deserves 0 effort. And that in itself is the most absurd stunt that Sharknado pulls. Not only as a movie franchise, but especially in this 3rd one with the most absurd but catchy subtitle ever, wins my award for not only the funnest movie I've seen, but one of the best. That's why I give Sharknado 3, oh hell no! And yes, that's the literal title of this thing. An 8 out of a possible 10. Leave your logic, leave your brain, leave your I can't possibly watch this absurd crap at the door. Just allow yourself for 2 hours to buy into the just plain stupid. And if you haven't bought into the Sharknado train yet, do yourself a favor. Have yourself a little bit of fun and a soul. And catch a bite of this. I would suggest watching it from its absurd beginning, but then again, maybe the third movie is just absurd enough for a start. And that's Kadic Reviews for this week. Find peace in your own nirvana. And run from the Sharknadoes. Unless you have a chainsaw.